Hey, what's up everybody? Can you guys hear my mic okay? Had to adjust some things right before the stream. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Make sure that we are good here. I have my chat up on YouTube and Periscope, so no matter where you guys are watching from, I should see your comments here. What's up, For Posterity? Hey, Nestor on YouTube, what's up? How are we doing this evening? I'm getting confirmation on YouTube that you all can hear me speak. So I am going to get started fairly quickly here. This is probably going to be one of those streams where I might clip things from this and post them as videos. Wait a little bit here. I think Periscope should be fine here. Let's see. Let's go see. Looks like it's doing pretty okay. There might be an echo here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, as I said, you guys can probably guess what the topic of tonight's stream is going to be. There's a delay echo. What? Do you guys have an echo? There's not an echo? I don't know why you guys are saying there's an echo. Okay, yeah, the echo, I was pulling up my Periscope stream and muted it, so that's probably what the echo was. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so we're good. I'm going to get right into it. As you all can see, tonight we are talking about something that if you are following me on Twitter, or if you happen to, I don't know, you have to be following me on Twitter. But I've talked about, basically what I'm trying to say is, I've talked about what I'm going to be talking about tonight multiple times in the past. It's one of my biggest pet peeves about libertarians, and I will be looking at the chat as I go on my little tear here, but I will answer questions, chat with you guys after I'm done. Just going to get it all out there, my thoughts on this topic. As you probably know if you follow me on any social media, my biggest pet peeve about, ew, don't tell me what to do, just say it. Pro tip, don't come on my streams and tell me what to do. I guess that's really my biggest pet peeve. Second of all, second biggest pet peeve is when people try to tell me that I should care that libertarianism is predominantly white men. Someone in the chat thinks I'm a democratic socialist. Boy, are they in for a rude awakening. I find it completely, utterly ridiculous. And this isn't just non-libertarians that do this either. Let me make it perfectly clear. There are plenty of libertarians that, I should use air quotes, do exactly what I'm talking about. They will find a tweet about how, basically what happened today was some leftist tweeted out and said that libertarianism is just a bunch of white men because they're the only ones that could possibly believe what libertarians believe, which according to this person was that everyone in life starts out at the same place and blah, 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 blah. Well, it was quite obvious at this this person doesn't know anything about libertarianism because they never do, and just knows about the memes, which other libertarians make fun of those kind of libertarians for, of, oh, just live and let live, blah, blah, blah. And some libertarians have, in quotes, just pretty much anytime I'm saying libertarians at the beginning of the stream, know that I'm using air quotes. I'm not going to bother doing it, but just know. Because I don't want people in the comments being like, well, those people aren't libertarians. I know. You don't have to tell me that. As for posterity pointed out in YouTube chat, yes, I mean libertarians. I mean Lilberts. So, a leftist will go on a rant talking about how libertarianism is predominantly white and predominantly male. And inevitably, someone will tag me in the thread and say, that's not true. Mac is an anarcho-capitalist. She's a libertarian and she's a woman, blah, 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 blah. Stop it. Get some help. Stop tagging me in threads as your evidence that libertarianism is not white and is not male. Because I don't care. It's irrelevant. All of these people are trying to do is to put you on the defensive. They're correct, by the way. But who cares? It doesn't make libertarianism more or less valid because white men happen to subscribe to the ideas more often than women or minorities or some other arbitrary group you'd like to throw in to point out that that's the reason the demographics of libertarianism are what make it not accurate. Come on. It's pathetic. It's stupid. I'm tired of being tagged in threads as your personal evidence that libertarianism isn't male. I don't care. I do know, especially when I first got involved with the liberty movement and was an activist in these student organizations in college, that there are absolutely libertarian women that get really pissed off at you if you try to say that they have their online following because they're a woman. Guess what? That's why. I absolutely have a bigger following online because I'm a woman, because I cosplay, because I'm an ANCAP that happens to be female. Those are all completely valid things, and there's nothing wrong with me admitting that. I will never understand people who immediately get on the defensive with leftists. That's the reason they're winning, because they're never on the defensive. They don't have to be until they eat each other alive, which we should just watch happen. But you're immediately going on the defensive. You're saying, well, I'm a woman and I'm a libertarian, so blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Shoo, shoo. Am I supposed to be impressed? Am I supposed to be impressed that you've accepted this? I mean, come on. It's so ridiculous. I am fully willing to admit that being a female online has given me an advantage to grow my platform. I'm using it to my advantage. I'm trying to spread these ideas, and I have no problem admitting, and I don't want any simps in my chat or elsewhere who watch this video back, to be clear, to go, I didn't follow you for cosplay or because you're a woman. I followed you because of your brain. Shut up. No, you didn't. You might have thought, hey, it's cool that this girl's a libertarian, but come on. I mean, I'm not stupid. You don't have to patronize me and say, oh, I didn't follow you because of this. Come on. Let's not be naive. Let's just say it how it is here. And that's fine. So, just like leftists point at libertarianism and they say, it's predominantly white and predominantly male. Yeah, who cares? Am I supposed to... Is that supposed to be a shot at me? I don't need to point out to them that I mean, clearly I'm very white, but I'm not male. So, I mean, I don't need to to point that out to them. I'm clearly a female, though because my name is Mac on Twitter, I do get accused of being male just because they see the name Mac and they think I'm a dude, which is fine, whatever. I don't care if people misgender me. But why is pointing out those characteristics make things more or less valid? It's ridiculous. Libertarians are not going to win by convincing leftists that, no, we have women and minorities in our movement. Please don't say that it's white male. Yeah, it is. And I mean, a lot of the people, maybe that's a good thing. Like, I don't understand why that is some horrible, oh no. Like, if you won't join a movement, and I've said this for a very long time, for years now, as someone who's female and libertarian. If you look at an idea like libertarianism, anarcho-capitalism, what have you, anything that you personally subscribe to, if you look at that and you claim that you're very interested in it, but then you start getting into it and you say, oh, well, this movement is very white and there's a lot of men and there's not as many women, and that makes you go, I guess I can't be libertarian, then you weren't libertarian. You're a grifter. Plain and simple. Do you not think that I noticed when I got into libertarianism that, oh gee, there's not really a lot of women around when I go to conferences, when I'm speaking to people online? Yes, I notice. I just don't care because that's stupid. I'm not going to be nice about it. You're stupid if you think that that's valid. And I see people make the argument, or attempt to make the argument, that, well, we need more women in libertarianism, which, if you guys want to see my thoughts about women in libertarianism, that's going to be a whole nother video. And if you want that, drop a comment after this video is uploaded. Let me know. I'll do it. I've been wanting to make that video for years. I wasn't sure my follower base is ready for it, but I'm just at the point I don't care. I need to make a video on it because it's getting so ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Especially with all the BS that's going on right now. It's getting so ridiculous. I can't, it doesn't matter. It's stupid. And like I was saying, people will try to make the argument, which I can try to see. I try to see from their perspective. But you guys know how I feel about optics cucking. If you don't, there's a video on my channel about concern trolls. Go watch it. That gives my opinion on what I think about people that say, oh, well, this makes us look bad. I'm not going to go into that. You all have heard it a million times. They try to make the argument that, well, it'll just be more welcoming to women. I'm going to use women in this example because I'm a woman, so it applies the same for minority people as well. I'm a woman, I'm using that example. People make the argument, well, if there's more women involved and we do outreach, they always use this outreach word. What does that even mean? If we cater to, because that's what it really is. You want to cater to women in libertarianism. Yeah, that's going to go over really well. I can't wait for this movement to go that way too. You all know what I mean. Oh, well, we just need to do more outreach to women so that more women get involved because we need women, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I would love for more women to be involved in libertarianism. Don't get me wrong. I think that'd be great. But they need to be libertarian. Not leftists. Otherwise, no. I would rather it be predominantly male and actually libertarian than have more female libertarian friends and then be leftist and stab me in the back as soon as I turn my back around. And the libertarian movement, in many ways, is so desperate to bring in women, and I don't know if it's thirst, I don't know if it's subversion of some kind, I don't know what it is, But it's as if libertarians are so desperate for more women and minorities to come in that they will take anything they can get. When I say something stupid on stream, and you guys have done it, you go, hey, that's not a good take. You guys call me out on it. There are topics that I am not fully educated on within many things, and I'll admit that freely. And that's the kind of standard that I want to be held to. I don't want a bunch of people in the movement that you cannot criticize because they're women or minorities, that cannot, you don't have to know anything. You can just say, yeah, I'm libertarian, and get a bunch of Twitter followers, which I can personally attest to, because I've been on Twitter since 2009. I've been in libertarian circles since, let's see, 2014, end of 2014, beginning of 2015. I've been anarcho-capitalist solidly, I would say, since the end of 2015. Okay, so yeah, it's super easy to get followers. So you should probably be very careful and make sure that you are not rewarding people simply because they have specific body parts and believe supposedly what you do. And that's the dangerous territory you get into when you're desperate and you need leftists to acknowledge you as a valid thing by, you think, attracting women and minorities to your movement. Because that's the mindset these people are in, and I think that this is why people that are obsessed with recruiting women to libertarianism drive me insane. It's not because I don't think they would genuinely enjoy more women in the movement. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'd love to have more female libertarian friends. Truly. It's because I know that the reason they are so concerned with this is because they are still concerned with how leftists view the movement that they're in. And that's an issue. I've done a whole rant on why I don't believe in building coalitions with leftists. You can watch that as well. I'm not going to go into that again. It's been overdone as far as I'm concerned on my live streams, my channel, and my Twitter. You all know my position on that. And that's why the catering to specific minority groups bothers me so much. Is because I know the only reason that people are so obsessed with that is because it is the libertarians, and conservatives do this too, by the way, that are so worried still. Despite everything that's going on, we see very clearly that these people want us dead. And you still are concerned that they're going to look at the movement and say, well, there's not a lot of women in there, so that means they're sexist. Guess what, guys? If you follow me on Twitter, you know damn well that me being a woman and a libertarian doesn't mean anything to leftists, because guess what leftists do? And there was a tweet, let me find this. I'm going to show you exactly why this is stupid, trying to cater to women, to bring them into the movement, to impress leftists is stupid. This is why. I quote tweeted, I think. Let me pull it up real quick. This is so important. This is exactly why this is stupid. They don't care, but this was such a beautiful Twitter exchange showing why they don't care. Okay, here we go. There was one reply that was just absolutely beautiful. Oh, I hate scrolling through. So earlier, for those of you who don't know, this ESPN commentator said, there's a reason libertarians whose philosophy rests on the assumption that every member of society starts at the same place and has the same power, are overwhelmingly white men, because only they could believe that is true. And a woman replied, I'm not going to bother screen capping. You guys can go find this guy's tweet on my timeline. A woman replied and said, and the ones that are women are misogynist anyway. There you go. It doesn't matter. And you guys know this doesn't matter because you see minority libertarian creators and female libertarian creators get called misogynist. Even though I'm a woman, they'll tell me I hate women. I've been told that my husband probably beats me by these people who claim to be libertarians, by the way. I've had other libertarians say that to me. Keep that in mind. Yeah, keep trusting those people, you idiots. Definitely not grifting. I've had people call me a pick-me, which, if you don't know what that is, that's just the feminist notion that the only reason a woman wouldn't side with other women is because she wants men to pay attention to her. It can't be that she thinks those other women generally have terrible takes and are trying to destroy society. That can't be it. No, it's definitely she, a married woman, wants the attention of men. That's it. So, that says it all. Every time I see this, it drives me insane. I don't want to be tagged in things saying that women aren't libertarians. Don't do it. I have come very close to blocking some of you for constantly tagging me in these threads, being like, no, Mac's a libertarian and she's a woman. I don't care. You shouldn't care either. When you see a tweet like that, when you see a tweet saying no minorities or no women are libertarians, you should laugh and scroll past it. I didn't do that today. I did quote tweet this guy and say, hey, libertarianism is not egalitarianism. You might want to check this book by Rothbard out. Oh, also, notice I didn't try to make the argument to him that I'm a woman and a libertarian because that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The only people who want you to believe that matters are people who don't want to talk about the ideas because they don't know anything about them. Spoiler alert. They want you on the defensive because then the argument doesn't. So let's say I do respond to this person and I say, well, actually, I'm a female and I'm a libertarian. Then we all know what happens. Then it becomes, you're a misogynist, you're a pick-me, you just hate women, why would you ally with racist white men? You guys have heard all this. And then the argument isn't about what libertarianism is or is not about. Then the argument becomes about you personally being a bad person. There is no point in trying to convince these people. It is a religion to them. And nothing you say is going to convince those people. Your time is best spent building coalitions with people who don't actually want to hurt you and who are at least willing to listen and scrolling by. That's what your time is best served for. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know I do spend, not as much as I used to, but I used to spend hours arguing with feminists, just quote tweeting them. And don't get me wrong, if I see a stupid feminist tweet, I'll dunk on them. I'll dunk on them a little bit. But I mean, I used to spend, you guys can like search feminist in my ad name on Twitter. I would spend hours arguing with these bald women. Just absolute hours. Just the other day, I tweeted about how smallpox was going on during the war that the Founding Fathers fought in. And was it the Founding Fathers? Yes. And some bald feminist responded calling me an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And up until a week ago, she was still responding to some of my tweets. And I just don't respond to her because there's no point. These people, you're a cartoon to them. They don't know how to handle it. And they'll just try to paint you as a Trump supporter anyway. So there's not really a point. So I I'm just at the stage where I'm ready to go to conventions in 2021, fingers crossed that COVID doesn't ruin that yet again. And I am just going to do things that way. I'm going to continue to live stream, talk with you all. I'm still going to tweet. I'm not going anywhere unless I get deplatformed, in which case it's inevitable. But that's it. So stop making me your token. Thanks. Generally, that is something that leftists, I will say, do have a point on. There are, especially conservatism, particularly right now, is very, very bad about this. It's like the based woman or the based black guy meme. Like, oh, this person's a woman, but they're based, and we need to prop them up because their opinion is somehow worth more than mine because I'm white, and this person's a woman. So on the leftist hierarchy, they're lower, so their opinion means more. So we need to prop them up. Okay, no, you're an idiot. I'm just repeating myself at this point, but you guys know there's no point in pointing out their hypocrisy. There's no point in tagging me in these ridiculous threads with people who clearly haven't ever interacted with a libertarian. That is the other thing. In this thread that I just told you guys about, where the guy clearly doesn't know about libertarianism, some other dude responds and says, yeah, they're just Republicans. Libertarians don't care about police brutality. And I'm laughing because clearly, I know this is overused, but this person is in an echo chamber if I've ever seen one. If they think libertarians don't talk about police brutality, even lolberts are obsessed with the drug war and institutional racism, and those are lolberts. Those are like left libertarians mostly that are obsessed with that. It's hilarious to me. So either these people are extremely ignorant in echo chambers, or they're flat out lying, which is why, I'll say it again, there's no point in arguing with these people. And stop tagging me. But basically, this has been a 40-minute rant of me telling you not to tag me in this bullshit, because I don't care. I don't care. Okay, I'm going to look at the chat now. I'm going to look at the chat. See what you guys have been talking about. Yeah, the base, is that yeah, that's the base. That's not mine. That's my husband's. Every time we moved last year, but then we got married and went on honeymoon, so we're still slowly bringing some things from basements and storage into our place, and that's not mine. I swear every time we go, my husband's got another guitar, and I'm like, oh, you got another one. And we dated for 8 years before we got married, so. Broke, based, woke, base. Absolutely. Choose base. So I will not be jamming on that. I have zero musical talent. I can't even sing. I love music. I used to play around obsessively on GarageBand in high school and try to make tracks. I'm obsessed, but my husband's the musical person, not me. There's a sax somewhere. I don't know where that is. It must be in the other room. Any thoughts on Parler? Are you going to create one? I will not be creating a Parler account because I think the Parler app glows in the fucking dark. just my personal opinion. That's it. So for now, I'm going to wait things out, see how things go. If you all are wondering why I would wait a little bit, do some research into the Candid scandal that swept through YouTube and Twitter. And you let me know what you think. But I think it's pretty weird that all these mainstream conservatives are shilling this app. For the record, I'm not against alternatives to Twitter. I'm not saying I would never use an alternative to Twitter. I mean, I use Facebook. Come on. Nobody uses Facebook anymore. At least I call the boomer every time I say I still have Facebook. But I got a bad feeling about it, guys. I'm going to be honest. And if I'm wrong, great. If there's like a platform where conservatives can hang out, because clearly leftists are all over the Twitter, fine. That's a win. I don't care. Perfect. But I think it's shady. Can't put my finger on it. I don't know. I don't know. It weirds me out, guys. That's my opinion. If you want to get on it, fine. I'm not going to go around telling people not to use it. I posted a thread about Parler, and if you want to be verified, you have to give them a bunch of information because you're like a partner, and you have to put in your phone number to create. And another thing that I'm not really sure about is, so if I didn't have a Twitter, I could just type in twitter.com, and anybody who's public, I can look at it, right? From what it seems to me, if you want to look at Parler, you have to make an account. I don't know, guys. I got bad vibes about it. That's such a white girl thing to say, but I will not be making a Parler. Long story short. Even though, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to be making one right now. I'm not going to tell you all not to make one. Personally, I'm staying out of it for now. Neil on YouTube asks, Mac, do other cosplayers get it, or are they kind of liberal? Kind of liberal? Oh, Neil. Neil, to put into perspective for you all, how leftist, I'm not going to say liberal, they're leftist, the cosplay community is. I received an email, and I posted about this on Twitter when it happened a week or so ago. I received an email from a con that I've attended in the past, in the Midwest, that was sending out a survey asking, and keep in mind, this convention was supposed to be in May. It was of this year. It was canceled. That means the convention isn't for almost another year, May 2021. They already sent out an email at a survey with a survey attached asking people a bunch of questions about restrictions for COVID prevention. The restrictions included, but are not limited to, how much cosplay would you want? 0 cosplay was an option on the survey. Now, this is just a survey they sent out to poll popular opinion. Should people be forced to wear masks at cons? Should there be no game room? Because, you know, when you're in a game room, it's like Dance Dance Revolution and stuff like that. They set up Xboxes so people can play on them, and that could be germ infested. So no game room, no maid cafe. Maid cafe is like a restaurant where people sign up and people dress up as maids and butlers serve you your afternoon lunch. No maid cafe, no game room. Potentially having to wear a mask, no matter if it calls for your costume calls for it or not. Potentially no cosplay. Time limits in the vendor room, for those of you who don't know. The vendor room is where they sell a bunch of anime merchandise. You can get autographs from the more famous guests that are invited to conventions. limited time in the convention itself. One of the options to vote for on the survey was limited 1 hour at the con at a time, which means I would have to spend an hour in the con, go wait around, I guess, because they're going to limit the amount of people. This is a year away! A year! A whole year! It's not like this convention is in September and they're kind of worried because they've been playing up a second wave at the end of this year. It's next spring! That is how terrified these people are and how leftist these people are. They're probably just eating up all the propaganda. And kudos, I guess, that they sent out a survey and they're just not gonna flat out implement these things. But the fact that they even sent it out terrifies me. And yes, in case you're wondering, the same convention that I'm talking about that sent out a survey about COVID-19 restrictions for a con a year away also posted about how proud they were of the Black Lives Matter protests and how we should all support them and blah, blah, blah. Same convention. So I might not be able to wear cosplay at a con a year from now because you guys are supposedly so scared about this disease, virus, whatever. But you're posting to thousands of people marching through the streets in the town where your convention is. It's absolutely fine. Okay. So no, most cosplayers are unfortunately not, they don't get it at all. It's ridiculous. Now I will say, I did see a few people commenting on the post because they made a post on their Facebook page posting the survey as well, saying, if you guys do this, I won't be attending. And I commented on it and said, I'm not attending. I said, I flat out will not attend. If you implement any of these restrictions, I don't care if it's time limits, I don't care if they half the price. So for example, this convention I'm talking about is usually $60, I think, for 3 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I go, you could make it $10, I wouldn't attend. Virtual online panels, no autographs from famous people, no maid cafe, no game room, no cosplay, you have to wear a mask, you have limited time, even though you're wearing a mask despite all those restrictions. Go fuck yourselves. Nope, I'm not attending. Which is really unfortunate because for those of you who don't know, this year, 2020, was supposed to be the first year I could travel to a bunch of these conventions across the United States, and I was very excited, but I couldn't, and now they're even talking about screwing up next year. So I'm very frustrated, and when I say I'm frustrated, people tell me I want to kill grandmas. It's just very frustrating. So that was a long rant for just the question, do cosplayers get it? But the answer is no, they don't. I do have some cosplayers reach out to me in private, I will say, that are smaller creators that say, hey, I agree with what you're saying, I'm just too scared to say it. Because that's how leftist the community is. You'll get canceled. Now, I don't give a shit. Come after me, I guess. Someone said, how did you survive the absolute hell of that survey? Didn't know you could have survived. Yeah. Raphael on YouTube. Hi there, I'm new to libertarianism. Could you recommend some books? Thanks. My first suggestion would be Anatomy of the State by Murray Rothbard. There is a free PDF or audiobook available. It's a very short book. It's more like a novella, really. And it's available for free at Mises.org. That's MISES.org. That website also has a ton of free articles about the subject, free publications like Anatomy of the State that I just suggested. Start there. If you would like good podcasts to kind of get you acquainted with some of the libertarian people that I personally really enjoy, start with Tom Woods. Tom Woods podcast, The Tom Woods Show. He's over on YouTube. He's also on Twitter. Check out his podcast. You can look through all the episodes. He's got so many episodes on different various libertarian topics and interviewing different libertarian thinkers. That's a very good start. Dave Smith, the comedian, great podcast as well. Part of the Problem. Both of these are available on Spotify and YouTube. Both of these guys are over on Twitter. For me, that's where I would start to get yourself acquainted, get kind of like a normie level, like friendly kind of introduction to libertarianism. That's where I personally started. And feel free to shoot me an email as well. My email is, if you see up here on the screen, Kenzie Puff there. My email is kenziepuff@gmail.com. I'm being serious. If you guys ever want book recommendations or you want to know podcast recommendations, anything, and you message me on a stream and you couldn't get everything down, please shoot me an email at kenziepuff@gmail.com. I will respond in as quick fashion as possible, and I have no problem recommending any books. That's why I do these live streams. That's why I have a Twitter. I just talked to a girl the other day who's around my age, who is really starting to get into libertarianism too, and I suggested those shows to her, and she's finding a lot of value in them, she told me. So yeah, start there. And if the chat has any suggestions, feel free. Danny Spike on YouTube. I'm curious, Mac, have you ever heard of the Asian capitalist known as a dormant dynasty? And if so, do you have opinions or thoughts on their content? I have never heard of them. So I can't give my opinions. Are they on YouTube? Meme extremist, I will poach and caps for my evil racist island nation ran by me, but I don't have an eye patch like Big Boss. Great. Fantastic. I was going to talk about something else. Let me look at, I sent myself a bunch of tweets. Oh, this is important. Okay. So, I need to clip this and pull this up on screen. I saw this tweet earlier. I'm glad it hasn't been taken down. That better be fireworks. Is it? It's the end of June. People are probably just shooting off fireworks. Okay, give me 1 sec. This is just disgusting. So if you don't want to be blackpilled, get off the stream now. Even though I've already been ranting, so. Okay. This is just, guys, this made me so mad when I saw this on Twitter. This was this morning. I saw it this morning and I sent the tweet to myself on Twitter so that I could bring it up in my stream, because I haven't seen anybody talking about this story and I think it's important. I mean, is there a Trump bot in my Periscope? Someone in all caps just said, Trump, senile Joe doesn't have a chance. Who are you? Why are you here? Okay, let's bring up this. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's move me over here. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see this on screen. I'm going to read it anyway. So I'm scrolling through, just, minding my own business. Yeah, right. I never mind my own business on Twitter. Anyways, I'm minding my own business on Twitter, and I see this article. Now, okay, let me click on the article so I can read you guys the story. This is an article from Fox K TVU, published June 17th. Berkeley, California. The family of a Cal student is searching for answers after learning he had been shot and killed. 19-year-old Seth Smith. What is it with these people named Seth getting murdered? Please stop naming your children Seth. Seth Smith was set to graduate from UC Berkeley next year. He was found lying on the ground not far from his apartment with a gunshot wound after going for a walk Monday. Someone walking their dog found him bleeding around 11:15 p.m. He'd been shot once. Neighbors said shouting happened in front of the bus stop. My gut says maybe someone with a mental issue, or it could have been a robbery gone wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the student was tragically killed. His family has no answers. The chancellor of the University of California, Berkeley. This, is it over here? This was the chancellor of the University of California, Berkeley's response to this person's cold-blooded murder. I don't have to tell you what color the person was that was murdered because you'll know when you read this. We realize this is a difficult time for those of you who knew Seth. It is important to know that the individuals may express their grief differently, and we need to respect the different ways people react and support each other in the days and weeks ahead. Many of you may have had a close relationship with Seth and are feeling a sense of loss and disbelief. Others, like many of us, are experiencing stress, grief, and anxiety related to the corona pandemic and the recent murders of George Floyd, Raya, who I already said that, Milton, and other Black Americans. This was the response to a 19-year-old white student being shot on their campus, and there being no answers to it. Nobody knows what happened yet. What? Think about how insane it is that before they even acknowledge what happened or say how terrible of an accident, horrific thing this was, that this 19-year-old was shot that went to their school, they needed to also say, oh, but by the way, we care about this too, blah, 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 blah. What? 19-year-old white guy killed. Black people most affected. What? I'm sorry, but what? The person that posted this tweet, captioned it, this response from the chancellor of the University of California, Berkeley is horrific. Our country is ruled by monsters. And I gotta say, I agree with them. Oh my goodness. It is just, I read this response, which, by the way, there's a link. You guys can see there's a link in the tweet. I tweeted this out. It's worse, by the way. The response is longer than this. They've offered a reward for information on the suspects, but the fact that they needed to mention, yes, this tragic murder happened to one of our students. We know you're all going to be affected by it, but just so you know, we care about this too, is disgusting. I shouldn't be surprised, and really I'm not surprised, but the depth of the depravity of these people is almost impressive. It's almost impressive. If it wasn't so terrifying, I would be impressed. But this is terrifying. Ugh, I don't know if you guys had seen that. I needed to bring it up on my stream because my mind was blown. You're using a fresh corpse to virtue signal, just like somebody said in the YouTube chat just now. Do I need to say anything else? I mean, I just didn't know. I hadn't seen anybody talking about this story on my Twitter timeline. I don't know as of right now. Oh, good. So the person that tweeted this out got 800 likes. The response of the chancellor has 2.8 thousand likes now. So hopefully, it gets some more traction. But I'll probably clip this part of my stream because this needs to be talked about. This is disgusting. I hate college. I saw that and I was just disgusted. I mean, I just don't even know what to say about that other than I'm disgusted. But I wanted to share it out on my stream because I hadn't seen anyone talking about it. So it's 9 o'clock. If you have any last questions for me, ask them now. I'm gonna hop off here, go watch some One Piece. I'm like 100-something episodes in. I've never watched it before. No, I'm not a real anime fan. I've tried to tell you guys this many times before, and you all think I'm joking. I watched Hunter x Hunter finally, masterpiece. So now I'm watching One Piece because I have the time. Alright, once again, thank you all so much for hanging out with me on this stream. I appreciate it. I know a lot of you are regulars. Appreciate that. I know when I started streaming, Eric July was streaming. Appreciate that some of you are here anyway because things go down on his streams. But appreciate you guys being here. I know this stream is kind of short. I just needed to get some stuff off my chest. I don't know if I'm going to do weekend streams now because now I have a second job, which will probably be on the weekends a lot. So you can always count on Thursday nights, comfy stream, 8 o'clock Central Time. I will be here live streaming. All of my live streams are always up on my channel after the fact. If you jump in halfway through, want to go back and watch them, do that. They'll always be up on my channel for now. And you guys have a comfy night. That's really all I had to say tonight. I kind of just brought up some random things and ranted about some things. So I will talk to you guys later. I will be on Twitter tonight as always, and I will see you next Thursday, of course.